It's time for philosophy! Yay! Philosophy! Yay! So I've got this philosophy called fixed scale philosophy, also known as true egalitarianism. So usually when you think of how a scale works, usually it works where whatever the heaviest thing is you put on one side or the other, because that side is heavier, the scale on that side ends up going downwards, and then the lighter object on the left or whatever go on the opposite side goes higher because it's lighter. But in the fixed scale philosophy, whatever you put on either side of the scale always remains balanced. It always remains equal. So what this philosophy is basically kind of designed to do, it's meant to basically get rid of the illusion of quantity and to get rid of the illusion of weight. To get rid of things like IQ, to basically judge things like morality. But the fixed scale philosophy is like it's like a magical scale that works in your head, where like I said, no matter what you put on either side, no matter what side is heavier or has more of something on either side, the scale always remains perfectly balanced. So what that means is that both things that you put on the scale are actually equal. So this is designed, like, I'm trying to think what the best example would be. I think it would be like morality, or judging morality and ethics. It's just like, I had a political commentator talk about, killing like millions of people in comparison to kicking a dog. And obviously, usually you'll say, well, obviously killing that many people is way worse than kicking a dog. But the thing is, you need to remember that immoral acts are still immoral acts, no matter how great or how small. So, under fixed scale philosophy, kicking a dog is just as bad as killing millions of people. If you did ask this question to like a dog lover that doesn't really like humanity that much, this example kind of would show that there are situations where this would work, where you like a dog lover would say, well, I don't really care for people that much, so I would say that kicking the puppy is actually way worse than killing millions of people. But the whole point is you need to remember that all life, no matter how great or how small, is all equally valuable and equally important. What other things can be applied to the fixed scale philosophy? It's like when it comes to like judging different mental illnesses, or it's like judging, cancer towards mental illness, where usually you would say, well, obviously, and what I forgot to say earlier is you can put anything on the scale. It doesn't have to be things that have weight. It can be any concept, any variable, anything. It could be anything, right? But when it comes to cancer versus mental illness, you might think usually that obviously cancer's way worse. But the thing is that they both kind of equally suck. They both come with massive problems. With cancer, you could basically get it at any point in time in life, right? But then mental illness, you can be born with it. I imagine the same with cancer anyway, but let's just go with it for the time being, that you are born with mental illness, and then mental illness from the very beginning of your life could cause you to feel as if your life is over, because you might never make friends because of the mental illness. You might be completely alone because of your mental illness, and those mental illness will always cause like social problems and communication problems for the individual throughout their entire life. where if a person has cancer at like 30, they could still live for 30 years without being affected by anything that actually lowers their living standards and quality of life. Another thing is that I would apply it to, things that I would apply it to is like IQ level. Just because someone's IQ is greater and someone is lower doesn't mean that person is better than the person with the lower intellect. And what's one? And I may as well say, like, put this in here. Is it's like, what's the one thing that you can do to prove yourself to be equal to anyone? Well, save a life. If you save a life, it doesn't matter how intelligent that person is. If they don't use that intelligence to save lives, if you save one person's life, that proves yourself equal to that person of that superior or like genius level intellect. On a side note, like, I tend to say that like all people have infinite potential, in the sense that infinity means an infinite amount of possibilities. So at any point in time in your life, you will never know what you are capable of. You will never know what you'll achieve. You never know what kind of good you'll do in the world. You never know what people you will meet. You never know how you change and impact the world. So in that, everybody is equal and has the same potential, which is infinite, because it means having an infinite amount of possibilities. So this is me trying to like sort of like prove that, just because someone seems superior to you doesn't mean they're better. And ultimately, I tend to think that if people think that they're genuinely better than other people, they're just being a dick. They're not being like a good, moral, ethical person. And this is kind of going away from perfect balance theory a little bit. So I'll leave the first part as perfect balance theory. How it works, what it's meant to achieve. It's meant to like make everybody equal. That's why it's also known as true egalitarianism. Because in the fixed scale philosophy, everybody's equal. It doesn't matter what the weight is, the intelligence is, the amount, the quantity. One life is equal to a million lives are equal to one. It's like the trolley question. Like, one of the answers to the trolley question there's been out there is, what about committing to zero choices? Because if you commit to one choice or the other, you're basically saying one life is more valuable than the other. Or you're saying that in some examples, some lives are more valuable than other people's lives. So like, if you make that choice, you're basically deciding that one life is more important than the other. But under fixed scale philosophy, all lives, all people are equal. And to prove it again, because we all have infinite potential, and we're all capable of accomplishing and doing unknown amount of things. I think that's going to be the end of the philosophy. I kind of said it in the wrong order earlier about, like, I should have said, like, in this philosophy, you don't just apply quantity, you apply absolutely anything that fits on the scale. And, in your imagination, the scale can be as big as you want it to hold, millions of people, or like tons and tons and tons of weight or whatever. So the order was kind of wrong, and that's kind of like another bit of detail. Anyway, so that is my created philosophy called fixed scale philosophy, also known as true egalitarianism. Well, true egalitarianism. Anyway, if you got this far in the video and you want to learn more politics, philosophy, and about mental health, stay tuned for more videos from the pioneer of true centrism show. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. And please like and subscribe if you can. Thank you.